So, we're going to have a couple of the cast members on Zoom, Brian, who I called earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce these folks in order. So first, from Game Control, the Game Master himself, Leon Allen Solomon. And I don't know if they're going to throw him on screen yet. Both of the writers and directors of the film are here. I'd like to welcome them to the stage, Michael Nankin and David Wechter. And you guys can sit next to each other. Wherever you want to sit, my friend, walk right up here. I'm good at hosting, but I'm not a very good usher. This is... By the way, guys, this is Michael Nankin, and that is David Wechter. And that was a microphone until moments ago. This is the most actors and crew that this theater has ever hosted for a Q&A, so this is going to be a lot. Now I would like to bring up the members of the white team, starting with my friend, debater number 2, Christopher Sands. Debater number 3, Michael Gittimer. And joining us on Zoom, when he pops up, the team leader, Wesley, the legendary Eddie Deason. Christopher is always the most stylish person in the room, by the way. Green team, another buddy of mine. In the movie, you knew him as Armpit, Kurt Ayers. And the green team leader, Levitas, Garrett Wilkin. I don't know about having this big chair up here. I got you, my brother. Come on up.
I got you, buddy. I got you.
Don't look like the meat machine anymore, do you? You can't tell me to shut up this early into the Q&A, Kurt. Oh, there we go. And there's Eddie Deason. You knew him as Wesley. Alan Solomon here at the bottom, Leon. And that is one of my best friends in the world, Brian Frischman. You know him as Barf. Brian, incidentally, is the only member here today from the blue team, so he'll be solely representing the blue team here today. Now I'd like to bring up the red team, which in my opinion was probably the funnest team in the movie. First, the twins, Peggy and Lulu, Betsy Thompson and Dr. Carol Thompson.
Yeah, it's kind of muffled now.
I
A
can't.
little hard to...
I can hardly hear it, but I can't see anything. I lost all video.
Yeah, you guys won't be able to
We're
see yet.
looking at you, Sammy. We're looking at you.
I'm just introducing
Next.
everyone right now. We'll get started soon. Eddie's having problem with audio, guys.
Can anybody here see Alan?
Yes, we can see you all.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see anything.
Yeah, you won't be able to. I'm sorry you don't get to see my pretty face, Alan, but I promise everyone can see you guys.
Okay.
Okay. And
No video for us. Okay.
yes, sorry. And the team leader from the red team, you also know her from The Simpsons, Maggie Roswell. All right. And the yellow team first, you know him as Marvin and his Jeep, David Damas. And of course, this beautiful young lady played the female lead in the film, Deborah Klinger Jensen. I'm sorry. There should be enough chairs. There should be 11. Oh. We need another chair, guys. There's one back there. Let me grab it.
Hello?
You stole my chair, Deborah. You're the only one who can steal my chair. Take it. It's all yours.
All right, there you go, Carl.
Okay, let me make sure.
Talking the thing there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Eddie.
Okay, I can hear good.
Okay. All right, guys, we're just introducing everyone. We're going to get started in just a second.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Can
You're
you
good,
hear
Deborah.
us?
Sit on it. Yeah, no one likes Garrett. You good? Are you sure? Okay. Well, I'll move out of the way. All right, guys. Give it up for the cast and crew of Midnight Madness.
Am I supposed to be hearing something?
Not yet. Not yet, Eddie. I got you.
Okay.
You're going to hear a bunch in a minute. I promise. I like that Midnight Madness poster on the wall behind you, by the way. Looks great. All right, we're just going to get David and Maggie situated. All right, guys. In just a second, I'm going to open it up to questions from the crowd, and I don't want you to just blurt it out. Go ahead and throw your hand in the air. I will walk out and put the mic in front of you so everyone can hear your question. I want to open it with the question that I've been thinking about all day, and I'm going to direct this to Michael and David. Whose idea was it, and how did you come up with the idea for this movie? They're deciding who to blame at this moment.
We got hired based on a short film to work at Walt Disney Studios at the age of 22. And we didn't have this idea at the time, but they brought us in, gave us offices and a salary. It's like a dream come true. And I think that first week, we remembered reading an article in a newspaper about a real game that someone in San Francisco was putting on like this. And coupling that with our favorite film, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, we thought, okay, this is a great idea. We pitched it, and they thought so too.
Well, we would like to all thank you for putting this film together. While I have your attention, David, I got to ask you, are you a big football fan? Because you've done so much with football stuff over the years with the Dallas Cowboys and the Friday Night Tykes.
I'm a cheerleaders fan.
Okay, fair enough. I think we all are.
I'm an average football fan.
Okay. And David, of course, went on to work with the film The Faculty. You wrote in that film and did several other films as well. And so did Michael Nankin, moved on as well and did a ton of stuff. I think Maggie Roswell has gone on to have one of the biggest careers, working for The Simpsons for nearly 300 episodes. So I guess, obviously, you've probably made the most money with voice work, but which one do you prefer, voice work or live acting?
I think for me, it's, I do love the live action, but it was kind of wild, and I always tell anybody that, especially kids that are going into acting, I always say to them, women in particular do voiceover, because I was doing the Tracy Ullman show when they asked me if, they actually had said, do you want to do the Tracy Ullman show? And they said that there was an actress that didn't want to sing in the show. And I said, well, why would I want to do it? And then they said, well, you'd be singing with Clarence Clemens of the E Street Band and of Carole King. And I went, I think I could do that song. So then after that, they asked me to do The Simpsons. So I do Helen Lovejoy, Reverend Lovejoy's wife, the gospel wife of the minister, and Matt Flanders was the next door neighbor that killed me because I moved to Colorado, and Miss Ober, his Lisa's teacher, the one with Lyme disease. Golfer to your board's friends, and a mail person delivers all their mail. Princess Casimir, real name is Charlotte Tifton, the head of Kitty Carlisle at Match Game 2010, all the old women, the old folks home with Grandpa, and Sherry Bobbins, a takeoff from Mary Poppins. Oh, we went with Houghton as well.
Nice. And real quick, before I move to the crowd, speaking of voiceover work, there's a gentleman here on Zoom I'm sure you all know him from Midnight Madness, as well as being Eugene from the Grease films. But he also had a very big role with Tom Hanks in the Polar Express, where he did voice work. Eddie, tell us a little bit about your time doing voice work and working with Tom Hanks.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Working with Tom Hanks and doing some voice work, because I know you do a lot of voice work
Tom
as well.
Hanks was the nicest guy in the world. I got hired, I wasn't in the Polar Express book. I'm not in the classic book by Chris Van Allsburg. Know It All, my character's not in it. But Bob Zemeckis, I did his first film called I Want to Hold Your Hand in '78. Right before I did Midnight Madness, I did that movie. He remembered me, he wrote me into the Polar Express. So I lucked out, he wrote me in. I go to the set the first day, I didn't know who was gonna be in it. And Bob goes, we're doing this new thing called motion capture. So I looked at it, a bit of it, and there was a guy on screen. He couldn't see his face, but he was like doing motion capture with all this junk on his face. And I go, that sounds like Tom Hanks. So then we all go out, there's like 100 of us lined up. Tom Hanks over there comes bouncing in the room. Hi, Eddie, I'm Tom. No shit, Sherlock, you know. Tom Hanks introduced himself to me. It was a joy working with him. He was the nicest guy in the world. We finished filming, and he goes, Eddie, I hear you're a baseball fan. Yes, I am. Then he goes, you want to go to a Dodger game with me? So the guy, do you think? So anyway, I go to 3 Dodger games with Tom Hanks. I took my friends. He was just the sweetest guy in the world. And I have another great Tom Hanks story, but I don't want to use up too much time. But he was a wonderful guy, and I love doing voiceovers. And I want to say hi to Maggie Roswell. I absolutely adore her. I loved having her as my girlfriend. She was too pretty for me.
My girlfriend. All right, guys. I have a bunch of questions for all of you. Obviously, I'm also a fan of the film, but I'm going to turn it over to the crowd a little bit. So if anybody has a question, shoot your arm in the air and I will come talk to you. I'm going to start right over here. I like my shoes as well. Thank you very much, Kurt. I'm going to start with you, my friend. What is your name?
I am Dami.
Dami, what is your question and for who? You can stand up, my friend.
Well, basically what got me into the movie is the theme song. I think it's like crack. Just any story about like where that came from, who wrote it, the idea of having such a catchy thing.
So who wrote the theme song and how did it come about?
Hey, well, my father and I co-wrote the theme song. In those days, every movie had a theme song, and I was a songwriter. My father was a songwriter. It was like, we really wanted to write the theme song, but they had like kind of an audition process and commissioned several composers to do demos of songs, including ours, and they didn't know who wrote what. And Deborah Klinger was very nice enough to sing on our demo. We did a first demo.
I didn't do the movie because I got sick.
Someone hand her a
I
microphone.
was very ill.
There we go. I got a better idea.
I did the demo
There you go.
for them to get the opportunity to have it in the movie, but I got very ill and I couldn't sing the theme song. I couldn't sing. Just yes, but it was great that you got it.
Yeah, we did a first draft and we played all the songs for the head of the studio, Ron Miller, and he said, I don't like any of them. So we went back to the drawing board. We took the couple lines we liked from the first version, rewrote it, and you were good enough to come back and record another demo, and that one did the trick. And thank you for liking the song.
Very nice.
Do you still have a copy of that?
I do. I have the
I would
original demo.
love to hear it.
I will get it to you.
It's a great ringtone.
Yes, it is.
It's her ringtone.
I got a great story about the theme song. I went to high school with Rusty Anderson, who is the lead guitar player for Paul McCartney.
By the way, guys, this is Garrett Wilkin. He is also the lead singer of the Parrot Heads, a Jimmy Buffett cover band, and he played Levitas in the film.
And so my buddy Rusty came up to Sacramento with my buddy Steve over here at the hotel. We had him play up 2 nights up there before he went on tour right now with Paul McCartney. And he came up, and his bass player that was playing with him is Todd O'Keefe, who played with Jeff Beck and a bunch of other guys. And Rusty says, this is Brad Wilkin. He was a kid actor and did a lot of movies in high school and stuff and things. And he goes, yeah, what were you in? I named off the stuff. I was in Midnight Madness, too. You were in Midnight Madness? He said, yeah. He starts singing me the theme song. In Midnight Madness. I went, yeah, you're a fan. He knew the song. He go, "Did you do the line Fagga Beefy?" I go, "No, that wasn't me."
And Brian. All right, what is your name?
Eddie, how are you?
Oh, Garrett's going to talk to Eddie.
Hey, decent,
that's
how
Garrett.
are you?
That's Brad Wilkin. Garrett
Oh,
Wilkin.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, I nodded off there for a minute. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me
What was
out
the
there?
question?
Hey, do you remember your birthday at the Wax Museum?
My birthday at the Wax Museum? No, I don't. What happened?
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, let's
Was that
move
when
on
the
from
naked broad
that.
came out of the cake and all? I remember. Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah. The cops were there. No, I'm sorry. No, I honestly don't remember.
Let's just leave it at that, Eddie.
I remember going through the luggage check, the X-ray machine at the airport. We filmed at the airport, and I remember getting on the thing where we put the luggage in. I went through the X-ray machine, and the people at the airport got real mad at me. I remember that.
All right, we're going to have another question from the crowd. What is your name?
My name is Deborah, and I flew in from Ohio.
There you go. She flew in from Ohio. And by the way, you can't see it, Alan, but she's wearing a T-shirt that says Game Control.
Oh.
My question is for all of the cast members, and I just want to know which location was the most fun to shoot at.
Oh, Kurt grabbed the mic quick.
The Pabst Brewery. I gotta tell you, we get here and we're in the brewery, and you're walking, and there are these tanks that are almost as high as the building, just huge, and they've got a little spigot. And Garrett and I got to know a couple of the guys who were working there, and they said, "Come here, we want to show you something." And they handed us a cup, and they said, "This is a little spigot." Best night of my life. We had more fun. And I just want to thank Mike and Dave for helping me buy my first house. I really appreciate it. I forgot about that.
So who else, what was some other fun filming locations? Christopher Sands or Michael Nankin? Anybody that wants to answer?
I've got a little story about the brewery.
Oh boy. Wow, the brewery must have been fun that night.
I mean, that was Dirk Blocker's, scene, really. And that's actually the Pabst Blue Ribbon Brewery. I mean, their fancy room where you can have a beer. It's all real, except the tank he jumps into we brought in. But when he comes out the bottom of the tank, that's the refrigeration room. And he climbed in that thing. It was about 28 degrees. Drenched himself in beer and came sliding out.
Nice.
Dedicated actor.
Christopher Sands, it looked like you had something.
I liked the miniature golf, which was also attached to the Pinball City.
Oh, okay.
They were right next door to each other. It was one location, and that was a blast. That was great fun. Yeah. Throwing all those stuffed animals.
And guys, Christopher was one of the white team members, and he also does a lot of theater still. He still acts on stage and does a lot of stuff currently here in the Los Angeles area, so you guys can go check him out. So I'm going to ask...
Can't beat Pabst Blue Ribbon Brewery, but the Wax Museum with Eddie Deason was, for his birthday, was the best.
I think we're going to leave that one alone, Garrett. Let's let the twins... Betsy?
I thought the Bonaventure was so much fun. We were running around and the whole food thing, and Patricia just cracked me up because when she fell into the water, it was just... You had to be there, but you saw it. But
I have a story about Patricia in the water.
And the pool scene when we all got pushed in. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And I think for me it was, I always wanted to do a food fight, but because we were able to do a toy fight, I figured that fills in for the food fight. Yeah.
So much fun.
Like that better than Adeline.
Well, you see, I was on an extended vacation, you see. I was eating too much Jell-O pudding, and they sent me away.
David Damas, guys. Christopher Sands, you said you had a funny story about Patricia in the pool. Go ahead. Deborah.
I was going to tell something about
Yes.
Patricia.
You can do whatever you want, Deborah.
When she fell in the pool, she actually hit her head very badly. And we only did that scene once. But she hurt herself pretty good. It was not fun. You could tell. You could see her really wobbling in the pool, and that was real.
It looked like he hit her pretty hard with that pie, too.
He hit her pretty hard, and she whacked her head.
She was a pro, and I mean, it was incredible. She got it in one take. She got it in one take, but he really smacked her in the face with those. I think it was eggs.
It was so Disney, the fact of like throwing Michael out of the back of a moving van and having us run around the streets, me driving a moped. I mean, and these guys, it was just like you think, you guys, you took some really good things to make this all happen. Because I know with Disney probably would have gone, what the heck are they doing? Oh no, oh my God, yes. But we had fun.
We signed papers before.
Michael Gittimer of the white team.
Yeah, just one thing I remember from the Bonaventure. It was a 16-hour day, and they were saying it was the most expensive day in Disney history. And, they couldn't get us out of there. Not anymore.
It was the most expensive shot in Disney history. The shot that where all the 5 teams are in the same shot, and one runs by, and then the other one runs the other way. And
that was amazing.
That was in hour 15 of the day. Wow. And we had together, and everyone was in triple platinum golden time.
Oh
yeah. And they didn't exactly congratulate us for making the most expensive shot. And just one other thing is Brian Frischman's lighting is so amazing. Wow.
Brian, Michael Nankin says the lighting in your room right now is amazing.
Oh, thank you, Michael. I'm ready for my close-up.
So,
okay.
Deborah had something she wanted to say, but so did Dr. Carroll. So, Deborah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say what was interesting about our film. It was like 5 or 6 different films going on because we really never worked with each other until the very end.
Right.
So it was so interesting how they had us all, working at separate times and together, and then we didn't really get to know one another that much, did we? It was.
We're true rivals.
Yeah.
True rivals.
I said, you're my favorite team to everybody.
And Dr. Carroll?
I was just going to comment on the moped thing at the Bonaventure. It was we had a great time, but if you notice, Betsy and I were in the front of our mopeds. That's because we were a little bit too back heavy for the backside.
But you did try it. You tried it, right? And Michael
tipped over, and then they go, this is going to work. I'm like, just put us in front. Just please put us in front.
Yeah, we
It was
rehearsed
fun,
that.
though. We had a great time.
We rehearsed that in the Disney lot, and with me in front first, and it didn't work. I had to dump the bike over. They sent me to the infirmary to get my elbow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's physics. You know?
So, Alan, I want to talk to Alan really quick. He's been up there patient. Alan, first of all, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome. And
Brooke, thank you. You can see me too.
You've gone on to do a lot of editorial work in Hollywood. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, what happened is, I'll give you the whole story real fast. When I made Midnight Madness, I was actually a full-time classical musician. I was a clarinetist in a symphony orchestra at the time. I had to get time off to make this movie. But years later, I made a career change, and I got into, of all things, television production, mainly game shows. And I ended up being an executive at a game show company. And I became Leon because I invented mainly a lot of lottery game shows throughout this country and around the world, and I invented dozens of games. So I figured that Leon planted a seed inside of me somewhere along the way that sprouted years later, and I had a whole second career of creating and producing games and game shows.
Awesome. I like that. And this guy up here in the left corner, guys, I consider him one of my closest friends. He is currently in Thailand doing God only knows what, but he does surf a lot and he does a lot of other cool things, and he still teaches acting and had his own acting school in Northern California. Brian Frischman, Barth. And Brian, how is it in Thailand? How is it in
Phenomenal. Well, hello, everybody. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Bonaventure because that was, for me, the greatest time. One reason because everyone was there, including Marvin Kaplan and John Fiedler, the great character actors who were in hundreds of movies. And Andy Tennant and I, he was Emilio, had become great friends on 1941, which Maggie also worked on. We shared a trailer, not a room, but the trailer. And there was quite a bit of drinking going on that day. And so the Bonaventura was full of a lot of laughs.
So, Deborah, real quick, before I go back to the crowd, I'm going to ask some more questions, so be thinking about your questions. You started out in a singing group with 3 of your sisters, one of which is here today, I believe, if she'd like to stand up. Is that Patty? Patsy. So what was it like transitioning from music to film?
Well, I started with my sisters singing, and then I went into other singing groups, and I did the Croft Super Show, where I was in a singing group, and I played Super Chick, and one of the actors, or one of the singers, but he was an actor also, Michael Lembeck, suggested that I get an agent, and I said, oh gosh, I can't do that. I have dyslexia and I can't read those scripts, like this. Just when they put them in front of you, you have to do the scene. So he said, well, if I can get you an agent that can get you the sides ahead of time, will you think about it? So I said, sure. So I met with the agent, and he said he would get me the sides, and that's the way I got into acting. I was
Very nice.
I was not an actress, I was a singer. I was a performer.
Right.
So I guess it all goes hand in hand. Did a lot of voiceover work and stuff like that.
Right. A lot of voiceover work from this. Go ahead, David.
I would like to say something on behalf of Deborah, because at that time when we were shooting, there was a song called Good Times by Chic. I don't know if you remember it. And she used to sing the song, and her and I would always do the bump. Anybody remember the bump? That was our thing. And the other person I want to speak about is right next to me, Maggie. The thing about Maggie and I, we had like this little playful feud about who had the best legs. She was wearing shorts and I was wearing shorts. So it was like, who had the best legs? Who's had the best ones? Head. So anyway, I just wanted to interject that.
Very nice.
Those 2 things. Thank you very much, Jim.
Question right here. Go ahead and stand up. What's your name?
My name's Brian. I'm from San Diego. If I can be greedy and ask 2 questions, this is for either the directors or David. It's amazing. Thank you very much for putting this on.
Sammy put this on.
Well, the detail that you see here on the big screen that I'm not catching the first time when I watched it on HBO on a tiny 12-inch screen. The hat that David's wearing when he's working on the Toyota FJ40, it looks like the same hat that Don Knotts is wearing in Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. And I'm sure the studio's reusing props and everything, but I just saw that tonight. I was like, oh my gosh. So I don't know if you guys know if that's true, but I know it's the exact same mechanic's hat.
The hat smell like Don Knotts?
No, but a very interesting thing happened. I have a friend that's moved to Virginia, and he got the movie for me, and he got the movie for me on DVD. And he also was nice enough to send me this, and to send me this, and that's why I'm dressed like that tonight.
Very nice. And you got a second part of your question.
Yes, so I suppose this is primarily for the directors. I'm sure you had to have very strict script approval from the studio. They probably wouldn't let you have anything in there that wasn't in it. But if there's anything that you really, really wanted to have in, because this was the second PG movie from Disney, PG-13 didn't exist. If there's something you guys really wanted to have in the movie and the studio wouldn't let you.
And did you sneak it in? I don't like the way you guys confer first. I feel like we're getting shafted here.
I don't remember anything other than we were kind of told, you know.
Well, you see, he doesn't remember what I do, you see, because I was an impressionist, and I still am. And he wouldn't let me do it, so I left it alone.
So there's something. Anything else?
Oh, why should I leave it alone all the time, Watchy?
I just want to thank Deborah Klinger's friend and agent for getting her into the TV and movies, because the camera loves you. and just watching it now, it just I just marveled at what a pro you and Maggie are with your reaction shots. Because as John Wayne once said, you know, he didn't care how many lines he had; it was all in the reaction shots, and your reaction shots made all the comedy and the emotion.
Yeah, especially the one when you were looking in the room there, Maggie, at the people at the Bonaventure Hotel. What the hell are they doing in that room?
That was a good question. Does anybody have another question up there? I'm going to come all the way back there. But you got to meet me in the aisle, because I'm old and brittle. What's your name, my friend?
Greg. All right, this is for the director. I was wondering, I can smell like a TV series out of this. You guys ever thought about making a TV series, and any of you guys
We're too old.
Star in it?
I'm sure we did at some point.
Yeah, it would be.
I think, there's been talk over the years. Every once in a while, someone reaches out to us about like remaking it, and the rights issues are pretty messed up. So, it's like, it's Disney, and Disney will do what Disney does. So, yeah.
And speaking of that, while you're talking about that, how did you guys feel about Disney basically disowning this movie after it came out?
I spent a year in my house eating Cheerios. It was hard, we were invited in. It was interesting, when Ron Miller, head of the studio, when we first met with him, he said, I think you guys can reach an audience that we haven't been able to reach. Now, like, Disney wasn't the powerhouse it is now at that time. It was, like, their big movie was Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. And, they were kind of a failing studio, kind of thrashing around, like, what would Walt do? They were in what would Walt do mode. And so he said, we think you can reach an audience that we haven't been able to reach. And so we were encouraged to go make jokes about big melons and girls stripping in the window and all kinds of things that were not in any other Disney films. And it was a PG film from the beginning, but I think about halfway through they started going like, maybe not. So I don't know. You never know what's happening in the boardroom.
But you guys got the last laugh because, it's a big cult classic. I'm just saying. Bada bing.
So I have a question. How many of you have not seen any of the other cast members in person until today since the filming of the movie? That's awesome.
I ran into Maggie at a Bruce Springsteen concert.
You did what?
I saw Brian at some UCLA function, probably years ago.
Yeah, we met at a bar about 25 years ago.
And I lived in Nashville, and Patricia moved to Nashville, and we became very,
Yes.
very good friends there. And I was with her till the end.
Let me tell you how awesome
My
this lady and
sweet
Patricia
friend,
are.
Patricia.
When I reached out 2 years ago to put one of these together, they both invited me to fly out and just hang out with them for the weekend, and so they could sign my poster and just let me get to know them. That's how awesome these two ladies were, so I appreciate that. Michael?
The only person that I saw after making the movie, I would go on interviews, and Michael J. Fox would be there. We were the same type, and then eventually he got Family Ties and Back to the Future, and it was his...
You stopped seeing him.
He went that way, and I went this way.
And Eddie and I have seen each other quite a bit when I was in LA and stuff, which was fantastic.
And I'm sure that's due to the voice work, because you both do a lot of voice
we
work.
both do voice work, but he's wonderful.
Yes, he is.
I just wanted to say a story on how I got cast in this. They had an open call at Disney. They had 2,000 people lined up around the block to get in. They brought us in 6 at a time. We stood before the directors, and I don't know if I think I had an ABC special there. I don't know what you saw in me, but thank you. That was fun. All right.
It's funny that he said that, because at the just a little bit afterwards, there was a strike on the bus. I did not know how to drive, and I didn't have a car. But what we did have is camaraderie. Disney would not give me a driver to get to and from the set. So I was under a lot of pressure all the time to try to get there. But the camaraderie we had, David Wechter, who was the star, I'm sorry.
David Naughton.
David Naughton, who was the star. He was nice enough to give me a ride home from time
Very
to time.
nice.
And I think that is the beauty of having all of us together, because we didn't really have a chance to spend a lot of time together afterwards, because I don't remember who said it, but somebody said something that was so apropos. All of the groups, whether you're yellow, blue, green, they all stood together. They stuck together. They stuck together. And there wasn't too much intermingling. But I feel like this was a blessing from God that we all got together again. And we have to thank I would really like everybody to give Sammy a round of applause.
Betsy? Yes, I saw you pick up that microphone.
Twin B. No.
Twin B?
I see Carol quite often.
I would think, yes.
Actually, I live in Atlanta, and she lives in I live in Georgia, and she lives in California.
Are you familiar with how a microphone works, Betsy?
Oh yeah, I forgot. But if we were able to hang out.
See? I'm right. Oh, no.
Anyway, for years Christopher and us hung out together and did all sorts of stuff with the movies, and became the closest of friends. So that was nice. And Patricia too was like our sister.
Yes.
So that was a special.
The one thing that I've seen that is a continuity in talking with all of the cast is that everybody loved Patricia. She seemed to be just the greatest soul. So one more round of applause for Patricia. Her son is here for us. Any more questions from the crowd? I see you. Go ahead and hop up. And I see you up there too. Go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Jim. I was just wondering, the movie kind of disappeared for a while. When I first read about it, it was not available anywhere. And then it finally came out on DVD. I'm wondering what that was like for you guys to have the movie rediscovered, what it was like to share this with your children, nieces, nephews, spouses, significant others. What that's been like for you over the years.
Who wants to take it?
I was in Kmart, and they had the big bin of DVDs, and it was $6.99. I go, oh my God, and I'm digging through to get more copies. And in Atlanta, go to Kmart. And I go up to the register, and I go, looky in the back. I was telling Maggie this a few minutes ago. On the back of the VHS, which we ordered for $89 from Disney, and then we got it. Because you jumped in there. And then when the DVD came out, I think twice. On the back of all those, that arcade scene,
yes.
We're on the pinball game, has been on all of them. We're like, oh my God, looky. So I went up to the register and I go, that's me and my twin sister.
So you get a discount for the $6.99?
Yeah. And then just real quick, I put this 70th birthday party DVD together for my mom, and we put all the family members in at the very end. And my sister-in-law said, I want to give you 10 minutes. I'm like, bull crap, I'm doing all this time. I'm going to put stuff. At the very end, I put all the pictures I had. I redid some of the movie on the back of the that family DVD. And they go, and my lead-in was, because I can.
What's your name, sir?
Greg.
Yeah, what's your question?
I know that David Naughton was doing Dr. Pepper ads at the time. Did he force that Dr. Pepper into the scene?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We just thought it was funny.
It was.
And it was actually, we had to.
But he was on bandstand during the filming.
Yeah, Disney didn't want us to put Dr. Pepper in. They said, well, it's like an advertisement. They have to pay us. And, it's funny, every time I'd say what Disney said, it's always in a gravelly. No, we thought it was funny. And, the people who knew him from the ads would think it was funny when they saw him drinking it.
All right, got a question right here. What's your name, sir?
Hi, I'm Nathan. Thank you all for being here, by the way. This is literally amazing. I'm an HBO kid, and it ran ad nauseum on HBO. So that's the guy.
Wow. Insult them all at the same time, buddy.
Anyway, just a quick question for the twins. Is that really y'all's giggle, or was that overdubbed?
You have your answer.
Little trivia on the casting.
Yes.
So most of the roles we just wrote. We didn't know who we were going to cast, but we actually created the role of the twins for the twins because we had already worked with half of the twins. And when we discovered that there was a twin, we thought, okay, that's a good double character in the movie. And then the great Eddie Deason, we had seen I Want to Hold Your Hand and just thought he was amazing, and we wrote that part for him.
Wow, I didn't know you wrote the part for him.
And then we thought, now we got to find 3 more.
I'd like to publicly thank David Wechter and Michael Nankin for making this an open call, because that's what it was. And I'm very grateful for them. I think I was the 4th actor seen. And I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be in the film if it wasn't these great gentlemen. Thank you very much.
We've gotten the chance of a lifetime. This door swung open for us for no reason other than dumb luck. And we thought, well, let's share it. We got this, it's a Cinderella story going, so let's, how many other people can we give a Cinderella story to?
Well, 43 years later, you're still giving it to us, so thank you very much.
Hey, there's something I want to say before we wrap it up and I forget. First of all, I feel like George Bailey today. To sit in this room with so much love for the movie and for this cast with my lifelong friend David means so much. It's so beautiful that you came out. I'm utterly surprised that anyone remembers it and that you're here, and there's so much enthusiasm for it. So I want to thank you guys for today. But there's two people that no one really knows about who are very big parts of this movie. I just want to mention them briefly. Ron Miller, the head of the studio, inherited his father-in-law's Disney studio with all of the history and all of that pressure on him, and he looked at us, 22-year-old wise asses, and said, I'm going to give you a job, and I'm going to pay for your movie, the most expensive student film ever made. That's the courage and the support, oh, well, Disney abandoned it. None of that matters. This man looked at us and took a chance. And I'll be eternally grateful. And as I've gotten older, I've started to really appreciate what a limb he went out on for us. And the other person is our script supervisor, Meta Carpenter. When we got our chance to direct, the Disney brass said, let's surround them with the oldest people we can, because they're just young, they don't know anything. So, our DP, Frankie Phillips, was 72, I think, and was the camera operator on Singing in the Rain. Wow. Meta was in her 70s and had held script for Bogart and Orson Welles and Mike Nichols, and she had this history of Hollywood. And she helped us not get into too much trouble. Always had a smile on her face, and she said one thing to me. It's like making a movie is fun, and it's also incredibly stressful, and a career has ups and downs. And I did a scene, and I was just like, am I doing a good job? I didn't know whether I was succeeding or not. And she just walked by me and said, "Don't worry, you got it."
Nice.
Coming from Puerto Rico, that was a warm hole in my heart, for the rest of my career. And every time things went sour, I thought, well, Meta likes me.
And the made-up story for me, which was perfect, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but we were shooting, and everybody was so exhausted, and it was in the middle of the night, and so we're just sitting there and waiting for stuff, and then I said, well, you know, Disney could come back from the freezer and probably do this, and everybody got really quiet, because they think that Disney, you know, is frozen and all that stuff. So then, and everybody got really quiet, and I thought, I'm gonna be fired. I'm gonna be fired right now. And then she comes up to me, she goes, well, we understand Mr. Disney is definitely cryogenically, but nobody speaks of it. And I went, oh, okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again.
All right, guys, I have a question right here. What is your name?
My name's Lizette. It's not a question. I just wanted to say thank you guys for making the movie and bringing the characters to life. My mom showed me this movie when I was a little girl, and it stuck with me. And we're from LA, but every time we drive around LA at night, we're like, do you remember Midnight Madness? And oh my God, I wish I had that adventure with my family and friends. And just thank you. It's really an incredible movie.
I've got a
Right, Kurt.
I've got a Ron Miller story. Disney Studios used to have a swimming pool. It's gone.
Are you sure you want to tell the story?
Sure. Oh yeah. I was sitting at the commissary having lunch, and Ron Miller, who played for the Rams, a big guy, tall guy, and he kind of just comes and sits down at the table next to me. You know, I'm thinking, what do I do now? And he looked at me and he says, I heard about you guys last night at the pool. I don't want to hear about you swimming anymore at night in the pool. And he looked at me as he walked away and he says, next time, wear a bathing suit.
All right, what is your name?
My name's Jackie, and I drove up from San Diego. Eddie actually put a post on his Facebook yesterday, and I already own that movie. I own it digitally, and it's on Vudu, and I've probably had it for the last year and a half. I watched it about 3 months ago. I watched it again yesterday. And I just want to say that I'm glad that I'm not the only one who's crazy enough to love that movie.
All right. We got one more right here. What is your name, sir?
I'm Josh Jacobs. Love the movie. Discovered it when I was about 13 years old. Now, after Animal House, but before Midnight Madness, Stephen First was in Scavenger Hunt. What's your memories of Stephen First, just out of curiosity?
Who wants to go there?
We always used to make Stephen First after Animal House go, what's your name? Flounder. And he's just was one of the sweetest, most amazing guys, as well as a really wonderful actor. You know, he's just probably one of the best, and we were really all just knocked out after he died. You know, it was great.
I did a movie of the week with Stephen First up in Corvallis, Oregon, with Stephen First, myself, Pat Swayze, Grant Goodeve, Tony Randall, and a bunch of other great actors. And we were up there in Corvallis, Oregon for 3 or 4 weeks. And Stephen says, this is where we filmed Animal House. I said, really? He goes, yeah, right there. And like it was a scary house. So he was a wonderful guy. He told us a lot of stories about Animal House. It was a lot of fun. But I just got to give a shout out really quick. David and Michael and I were talking in the lobby here. My mom, Virginia Higgins, was the first casting woman in Hollywood. And she cast the movie. And that's how everybody got their part. And she was the very first woman casting director in Hollywood before she met my dad. And then she quit, and they called her up. Marvin Schnall called her up and asked her to come back to Disney and cast all the kids and all the parts. And so I tried out for the movie, and I go by Wilkin, and she kept her maiden name because everybody knew her by Higgins. And so I tried out for the movie, and these guys gave me the part, and then my mom told them, well, that's my son.
All right, so now we know how Garrett actually got the part in the film. I would like to introduce, we talked a little about Patricia, guys. She played Lucille in the film on the blue team. This is her son, Forrest, and he would like to say a few words.
Thank you so much, everybody, first of all. I unfortunately have only seen this movie twice. This was my second time. And I am envious of all of you for having been able to see it more times than me. Thank you guys for including her in this. Obviously, it's amazing to have her immortalized this way. It's wild, it's a trip. This is incredibly overwhelming. And thank you to Sammy, thank you Jim, thank you everyone. Midnight Madness was interesting for me because my family growing up included Deborah and included Betsy. And like literally every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, I was over at Deborah's house.
Every performance.
Yeah. So it seeped into my life in such an interesting way, and I didn't realize this until I watched it just now and got to experience this in a new way. She always, my mom, Patricia, always opened gifts the same exact way. You could get her anything that it was, you could get her, and she would delight over the, all of the little bits and pieces and keep the paper intact. And I didn't realize this until tonight, but in a little curio cabinet in our kitchen, growing up in our household, we had the Johnny Fat Boy doll. And I still have it, and I didn't realize it until just now.
I'll give you my address. You can send that to me for it. All right, guys, so we're going to close it up really in just a second here. We are going to, some of the cast will be signing autographs in the lobby. I'm not sure who wants to, but whoever wants to, and the directors. They'll be signing autographs in the lobby. Unfortunately, with the film kind of breaking down on us, a little bit later start, we don't have as much time as we wanted for the Q&A. Sammy's walking toward me, so I must be doing something incorrectly.
No, it's not going to be in the lobby.
Oh.
We're going to be outside the theater.
Outside the theater. I knew that.
Other films are still going on.
That's what I said. You just didn't hear it correctly. Yeah. So,
I just want to say real quick too, because Kirk was talking about eating in the lobby and Ron Miller walking by there. My best memory of meeting any big artist or star was at Disney Studios when we were eating lunch, and he walked by and Kurt says, "That's Ray Bolger's." That's the Tin Man, or the Tin Man from, and Ray Bolger's heard him say that, turned around and he goes, "Yes, I am. Who are you?" So we got to meet the Tin Man at Disney Studios.
Oh, watch your chair, Garrett. Don't fall.
We met Elliot Gould on the set. He was doing the Black Hole, and we were just walking down the street, and it was just funny because it was like, we were also, remember that?
Oh my God. Well, so these girls, because nobody had a camera in those days, but they had a camera. So Elliot was kind of looking out at something in the center part while we were at lunch, and so I was leaning on the car, and then they snapped a picture of the two of us, Elliot and I. And so what I did, because I was single at the time and thought, I'm so tired of sending out like single Christmas cards, so I said, "Merry Christmas from Maggie and Elliot." and they actually gave it to Elliot Gould, and he was going, "I'm Jewish." I know, I'm just saying.
All right, guys, so I want to tell, first of all, before we close it out, Brian, Alan, and Eddie, you guys didn't get to hear it, but every time one of you came on the screen, the crowd clapped and cheered for you. They were super happy to see you. And I wish you guys could have been here and felt the atmosphere because it was amazing.
Fagabeefy.
Yes. Brian, you got to say it for us one time.
I've got a really bad cold, so I'm going to skip it. Sorry.
Oh, my gosh. We're not friends anymore. All right, guys, I'm going to close this with my own personal... I'm going to close this with my own personal story, and then everyone can head out and get autographs from these lovely people. As I was growing up, I moved, and I went to 72 different schools. And I lived in 5 different states before I was 12. This movie was the only constant in my entire life. I would watch it every night, and it was like my closest friends. So to be able to do this here today is one of the greatest moments of my life. So thank you, Sammy, for bringing me in. And thank you all for everything and all the fun that you guys have provided us throughout our lives.
Jim, could you please tell them about my books?
Yes, and David Damas has 2 books, one about his very famous uncle, and another one that just came out that is it's kind of a photo collage of him and everything that he's done in his career, so make sure you guys check those out. We'll see you guys all outside. Thank you again to the cast. Brian, Alan, Eddie, thanks for stopping by. Thanks, guys.